All right, yeah! Thank God for fantasy football. I'm Buster Brown, and the show, well, it's called Redemption Rehab. Today, we're talking about our weekly waiver wire report for fantasy football. If you've had a good start to your season, well, that's just great. But if you didn't have a great start, we are here to help. So buckle up, get out your popcorn, and let's head over to the chalkboard
and check out the facts.
Okay, here we are taking a look at the weekly waiver wire report for week 7 of the NFL season in fantasy football. And behind me, we have a depth chart for the Indianapolis Colts on RT Sports. When you get a chance to check out the best place to have your fantasy football league, go to RT Sports and check them out. That good. Anyways, we're here talking about the waiver wire report, and one of the guys I want to mention is a guy we mentioned a couple weeks ago, which was this guy, Deion Jackson. As you can see on this depth chart, he's behind Jonathan Taylor, who's been out for the last 2 weeks, Nyheim Hines, who got hurt in the Denver game in the first quarter, and this kid comes in and he blows up. So if you got Jonathan Taylor, Deion Jackson, someone you want to know. If you don't, be careful. You can spend too much money on a guy that might not play all year. Let's check out and see what he did as one of the stars in week 6 of the NFL waiver wire report. Okay, here we are checking out the week 7 NFL waiver wire report. But one of the stars of week 6 was this guy. We mentioned him 2 weeks ago, Deion Jackson. He's a rookie. He's been in the league 2 years, and he was 6 foot, 218 pounds. Running back in Indianapolis. As you can see here, didn't do anything the first 4 weeks, but when Jonathan Taylor got hurt, he got a chance to play in Denver. Came in, competed against Philip Lindsay, had 13 carries, 4 receptions for 29 yards. Not too bad for 13 points. There's guys like Najee Harris that got less than that pretty much every game this season. So to get a guy on the waiver wire and put him in your lineup is a big deal. So when people picked him up and put him in their lineup, once they found out Jonathan Taylor wasn't playing, once they found out Nyheim Hines wasn't playing, guess what he did? Let's take a look. He scored 28 points, over 28 points, 12 carries, 42 yards, not spectacular, but he did have a touchdown. But here's the thing, in a PPR league, when you got 10 catches for 79 yards, that means you're viable. That means you're a player. So if you got Jonathan Taylor on your team, you better go out and get yourself Deion Jackson. If Jonathan Taylor's out another week, he might be worth adding to win. If you have a waiver wire problem at running back, whether it's a bye week or injury, Deion Jackson might be your guy. Okay, who else was the star in week 6 on the waiver wire? I didn't mention him. We talked about who we like with Deion Jackson and stuff. We liked him a couple weeks ago, but Tyquan Thornton, he was a guy that we didn't even mention in our NFL draft preseason special show. Tyquan Thornton is a rookie wide receiver out of Baylor, 6'2", 182 pounds. He went to the combine and he ran an amazing 4.21. That's as fast as you're going to see at a combine. Might be a record. I'm not 100% sure. But he did well. And that caught the eye of Bill Belichick. Probably went and checked him out. So what did Bill Belichick do? Let's check it out. He puts him on the IR after 4 weeks because he has a collarbone injury. Comes back in against Detroit in week 5. Only has 2 receptions for 7 yards on 3 targets. No rushing attempts in this column. Then against Cleveland, he comes in and gets 21.3. Look at the schedule coming up. Chicago, New York, Indianapolis before they go to the bye, before they have another easy schedule till they get to Buffalo. He gets 21.3 points in week 6 against Cleveland. He has 4 catches for 37 yards with 1 touchdown on 5 targets. And he has 3 rushing attempts for 16 yards and 1 touchdown. Bill Belichick could be one of the greatest coaches ever. How many Super Bowls did he win? He sees talent, sees this guy that can, he's fast, 4.21 in the 40-yard dash. I mean, there's not very many people in the world that are faster than this guy. He puts him in the game, and he has a big game. Okay, if you want to star for week 6, going into week 7, which is what we're talking about, why not Mike Gesicki? We've been talking about this guy for weeks now, 2-3 weeks. We told you he starts off slow. We told you he's going to eventually break out, and he did. Look what he did. Over here, he comes in. Didn't do much here in the last 3 weeks. Week 2, he did good against Baltimore with 4 receptions before he got a touchdown on 4 targets. Comes in here against Minnesota, gets 24.9 points, 25 points, 6 receptions, 69 yards, 2 TDs. We've been telling you this would happen. It happened. Go get them. Let's go take a look at some quarterbacks that were stars in week 6. Okay, who were some stars in week 6 at quarterback? How about Marcus Mariota? Look what he did. Comes in against a tough defense. San Francisco is missing a ton of players. Comes in. He is 13 of 14 for 129 yards. That's not very impressive, but he does throw for 2 touchdowns. And what's most impressive, he rushes for 50 yards, gets another touchdown. That's why you like Marcus Mariota. He's coming up against Cincinnati. He's a star of week 6, maybe a star of week 7, but he's definitely going to play well against Carolina. Has to against the Chargers, and goes to Carolina again twice in 4 weeks. So Marcus Mariota, star week 6 at quarterback, might be someone you want to pick up on the waiver wire in week 7. Let's go take a look at some guys we like in week 7 that we think will do well. Okay, guys we like in week 7, we told you about Kenneth Walker for weeks now. He would have got you 14.8 points in week 5 against New Orleans. 8 rushes for 88 yards and a touchdown, no receptions. Rashad Penny gets hurt, and against Arizona, he gets you 19 points, 21 rushes, 97 yards and a touchdown, and he gets 2 receptions. We really like Kenneth Walker the rest of the year. Who else do we like? Okay, another depth chart situation you need to take a look at if you're looking at the waiver wire, and I get it, there might be better players out there, but J.K. Dobbins for the Baltimore Ravens is doing nothing. If you've got him in your lineup, you should expect what you're getting. Come back from a serious knee injury. Justin Hill's a backup, is doing nothing. Mike Davis is doing nothing. And then you get Kenyon Drake. What did Kenyon Drake do? He comes in here in week 6, gets 19.7 points, 10 rushes for 119 yards and a touchdown, and he also gets 1 catch for 8 yards on 2 targets. That's pretty good for a guy. But the guy we really think is going to come in and light things up when he's healthy is Gus Edwards. So if you've got these guys, any of the guys I just mentioned, on your team, and you want to pick up somebody in your waiver wire, Kenyon Drake's a possibility, so is Gus Edwards. Okay, we're going to show you a couple of scenarios with the Carolina Panthers and Los Angeles Rams. Carolina Panthers might be trading Christian McCaffrey. They're having a tough season. Coach got fired. Quarterback issues, as you can see up here. P.J. Walker, Baker Mayfield. Christian McCaffrey is a high-value player. They restructured his contract so any team can trade for him and not pay a lot of money to this year. But the guys you want to keep an eye on are Devontae Foreman and Chuba Hubbard, because they can come in if he gets traded and have an amazing season. So make sure you check out that situation. And let's check out the another situation if you need a running back with the Los Angeles Rams. Okay, as you can see behind me is the Los Angeles Rams depth chart. As you can see here, Cam Akers is the man. I don't know what happened in Los Angeles. It's only Monday. The Monday Night Football game's about to start here soon, so we don't know what's going on with that. There could be an update with Cam Akers, but rumor has it there's been a fallout, and he's not starting running back. In L.A., this guy Darrell Anderson had a good day, and this is his backup, Malcolm Brown. So we'll see what happens there. I think Cam Akers is a good running back. Probably going to get traded here before the NFL deadline, so keep an eye on that situation. If you need a good running back, if Darrell Henderson right here is on your waiver wire, go out and get him. And Malcolm Brown is his handcuff, so he might be somebody you want to consider and put on your radar. Tell you what, we got to look at some other players real quick. at wide receiver and tight end. So let's go check out the wide receiver market for week 7 of the weekly waiver wire report. Okay, behind me, you're checking out the Arizona depth chart at wide receiver, running back, quarterback. And I'll tell you what, there's some things going on here that's really important in fantasy football. This guy here, Marquise Brown's been having an amazing season. What I'm hearing on Monday is he might have a season ending or at least an IR type situation with his foot or a bone in his leg where he's not going to play for a while. So you need to know that people you want to get is Rondale Moore. He's going to light it up if Marquise Brown's not available. DeAndre Hopkins is coming back from a suspension in week 7, so he'll be playing on Thursday night. Zach Ertz is going to get more playing time, and even Trey McBride, their draft pick, early round draft pick, is going to get some playing time. So keep an eye, put Trey McBride on your radar. I would definitely go out. I doubt Zach Ertz is on your waiver wire, but Rondale Moore might be. I'd go out and pick him up. Robbie Anderson got traded to them today on Monday, so he'd be somebody you want to keep on your radar. And keep an eye on DeAndre Hopkins. They're playing on Thursday. I think DeAndre Hopkins could come out. He's eager to show, if he's healthy, and he is, that he's a mainstay in the NFL. Those are guys you want to keep an eye on for this Thursday. Okay, behind me we're looking at the depth chart here from the New York Giants. And as you can see here, Kenny Golladay hasn't done anything. David Stills is productive but not lighting anything on fires. Neither is Richie James or Darius Slayton. He had a good week last week, but not in week 6. The guys you want to look at is Kadarius Toney, who's been injured all year. He'll be coming back. He's an amazing player. Wayndell Robinson, he went out and got you like 3 catches for 37 yards and a touchdown. So he's just getting into what it means to be an NFL player. He was a running back for Nebraska for a couple years that we mentioned in our NFL draft preseason preview show. We really like him before he went to Kentucky and became a wide receiver. So he had a touchdown last week, so keep an eye on him. We also like tight end Daniel Bellinger. Guy comes out every week, gets you 8 to 10 points. If he scores a touchdown, he gets you 15. Those are important players. Who else do we like? A wide receiver. How about this guy, Alec Pierce? We've been talking about him for the last couple weeks because he got you 12 points against Tennessee, 16 points against Denver. Then comes in and gets you almost 14 points with 3 receptions for 49 yards and a touchdown on 7. Look, the Colts are not a bad team. They're just missing some players on defense, missing some players on offense. Once they put this together with Matt Ryan, a veteran quarterback, you want to pick up these guys. So let's go take a look at some tight ends we like and some quarterbacks we like for week 7 of the NFL season. Okay, we told you about tight ends. We told you about Mike Gesicki. He was a start from week 6. We've been talking about Mike Gesicki for weeks. I told you it was going to be a breakout, and he finally had one. A guy we also think is going to have a breakout in 2022 season is a guy that's had amazing seasons for years, and it's this guy, Hunter Henry. What did he do? Well, let's take a look. In week 5 against Detroit, he had 9.4 points, 4 catches for 54 yards on 5 targets. Then against Cleveland, he comes out and gets you 16 points with 4 catches on 61 yards and gets you a touchdown on 7 targets. Look, I don't know what's going on in New England. They got their 3rd string quarterback. I mean, Brian Hoyer gets hurt after the other quarterback gets hurt, so they put in Bailey Zappi, and he's going to run the ball. The New England Patriots are going to run the ball, and they're going to check down to the tight end because he's a rookie quarterback. So as long as you got yourself a rookie quarterback with the schedule they got coming up here in Chicago, New York, Indianapolis, Hunter Henry's been a good tight end for years, and he's getting paid a lot of money. Might be someone you want to pick up off your waiver wire for week 7. Let's take a look at some other tight ends we like. How about this guy, Robert Tanya? 5 years out of Indiana State, 6'5", 240 pounds. Blew out his knee about a year ago, and he's just now coming back. Had a good game against New England, 2 catches and a touchdown. Then comes in against the Jets and blows up. 10 catches for 90 yards on 12 targets. Look, he's clearly going to be getting healthy. He's got a good schedule against Washington. Buffalo's tough, but Detroit, that's pretty good. Dallas is tough, but I mean his schedule is like this week it's good, next week it's not. But I tell you what, if Robert Tonyan's on your waiver wire, better go out and get him, because I think in Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers might not have a lot of people to throw the ball to, but Robert Tonyan is getting healthy, and I'd be going out and picking him up if he's on your waiver wire. Let's look at some other guys. Okay, if you need a deep sleeper, how about Daniel Bellinger? Look at him. He's a rookie out of San Diego State, 6'5", 253 pounds. Giants using the block. He can catch the ball. I mean, if he's going to block, that's a great thing for Saquon Barkley. And look what he's done the last couple of weeks. 2 receptions, 22 yards on 3 targets, and got you 10 points and a touchdown. Rushing the ball right here. And then, the next week he comes in and gets you 5 receptions for 38 yards and a touchdown on 5 targets with no rushing attempts. Look, the coach, the new head coach of the Giants seems to be a very good coach. I mean, these guys are 5-1. Daniel Bellinger is a guy that's going to be there because he can play all 4 downs, and they keep him on the field. Evan Ingram's gone, and they've had problems at wide receiver. And I think Daniel Bellinger has a solid floor between 8 and maybe, if he gets a touchdown, 15 points. So he might be someone you want to keep on your radar at tight end for Week 7 of the NFL Weekly Waiver Wire Report. Let's head over and check out a couple deep sleepers that, if they're on your waiver wire, they may have a breakout season the rest of the year. Guy that we like at tight end, that we liked all year, as you can see right here, Noah Fant, 4 years out of Iowa, plays for the Seattle Seahawks at tight end. Used to play for the Denver Broncos, got traded when they traded for Russell Wilson. As you can see here, he's got a solid floor between that 6 and 10 range. Only has 1 touchdown on the year, but he's a good tight end. We really like him. Another tight end that we really like is this guy, Greg Dulcich, tight end out of Denver, rookie out of UCLA, 6'4", 245 pounds. He's been on IR all year long, comes off in week 6, gets 12.4 points, 2 catches for 44 yards with a touchdown on 3 targets. Keep him in mind, or keep him on your radar. And we also like this guy. How about Jake Ferguson of Dallas? He's a tight end out of Dallas. He's a rookie out of Wisconsin. They can block over there at Wisconsin, so he's going to play all 4 downs. 6'5", 244 pounds. Dalton Schultz hasn't done much all year. Neither has Jake Ferguson. He comes in against Philadelphia, catches 4 balls for 40 yards and a touchdown on 6 targets. I would keep him on my radar. When Dak Prescott comes back, pretty sure he's going to want to throw the ball to Dalton Schultz. But Jake Ferguson is somebody I would keep on my radar. Let's go take a look at some other players we want to pick up in Week 7 of the Weekly Waiver Wire Report. I got to tell you what, when we're talking about quarterbacks, we told you about Marcus Mariota and we showed you his schedule. He might be somebody I would consider if he got a bye-week issue, or maybe he just didn't draft well and your quarterback isn't producing. Well, Matt Ryan, who's a veteran, former MVP, didn't start the season out very strong, but he comes in against a good Jacksonville defense and throws out over 31 points, 42 passes for 58, and 389 yards with 3 touchdowns, and of course didn't run the ball very well, but that's Matt Ryan, so he's somebody I would consider, and we like this guy a lot too. How about Trevor Lawrence? We've been talking about him for a few weeks. You see he started the season decent, 20 points here, 27, then fell off. I'm not sure why. Philly's defense is pretty good. Apparently Houston's defense is a lot better than everybody thought. I mean, they got a veteran coach in there now. Then they come in against Indianapolis, and he gets you 26.5 points, 20 passes of 22 for 165 yards. That's not very impressive with only 1 TD. I mean, it's a good quarterback rating. 20 of 22 and a touchdown. But what he did, that's what he needs to do, and we talked about last week and the week before, is he needs to start running the ball. He had 23 rushing yards and 2 more TDs. This is what's going to make Trevor Lawrence valuable in the NFL. This is what's going to make him valuable in fantasy football. He's got a tough schedule against Denver's defense along with the Giants. That's 2 tough defenses there before he gets into Las Vegas and Kansas City, which could be 2 shootouts. So I'd be considering Trevor Lawrence if you got issues at quarterback. Tell you what, we've got some other guys we really like. Let's go take a look at them. Okay, we just wanted to show you this depth chart really quickly because Carson Wentz has a broken finger, might get put on IR. It's Monday. The game on Monday night hasn't even played yet. So Carson Wentz, we've been told that has a broken finger, a fracture anyways. May be put on IR. But these are his backups. Tyler Heinicke has been playing for years. I'd be consider picking him up if you need a quarterback. He's a decent backup. And Sam Howell, he's a rookie out of North Carolina who played well in the preseason. Keep an eye on that situation. Put it on your radar, and we'll see how it pans out in Week 7 and Week 8 of the NFL season. Let's go take a look at some other players we like at defense and kicker to round out the weekly waiver wire report for Week 7. If you want a good waiver wire pickup for kicker, Harrison Buckner of Kansas City was on basically out for 4 weeks, hasn't played for Week 1. As you can see here, he had almost 13 points on 2 field goals. Looks here, made a couple extra points, got you 12.6. I'd be going out and getting him, but you should know that he's going to be on bye in 2 weeks. And another guy we like at field goal kicker that we've been talking about all year is this guy. It's Cade York, of Cleveland. He's a rookie. He's only 21 years old. This guy's just killing it. We've been preaching about him all year. Had a few bad games, so a lot of people dropped him. And look what he did against New England. 3 of 3 and got you almost 14 points. He's got some big games coming up against Baltimore and Cincinnati before they go on bye. We suggest you go out and Cade York. If you need a kicker, we talked about Graham Gannell last week. We like him still for the New York Giants. And if you want a good defense, how about the New England Patriots? We told you for the last 2 weeks to go out and get them. We thought they'd play well against Green Bay and Detroit and Cleveland, then the Chicago, the Jets, and Indy before they go on bye. They're putting up some decent points. I think you can get double-digit points for them for the next 3 weeks. So if you want a good defense, go out and get these guys because we really like them. I'll tell you what, that's it for Week 7 of the Weekly Waiver Wire Report. I'm Buster Brown. The show is called Redemption Rehab. Good luck.